Hi, my name's Kim. This is the mid-year freakout tag. I originally wasn't going to post this video right now. I was going to wait until early July, but the video that I'm reading for I don't think is going to be ready in time, so I decided to do a little switcheroo and do the mid-year freakout tag instead. So I have included most questions. Some of them, which I'll go through when I get to them, I've cut out just because I don't really think they're as relevant to me, so most things are included. So I might as well just make a start. The first question is best book so far in 2025. I think the best book is probably for me The West Passage by Jared Pekchek. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I can't remember. This was a reread for me. It's my only reread of the year so far. I read it in November of last year, and I reread it again for my 5-star predictions videos because I'd given it a 4.5 at the time, and I was like, this is probably a 5, and it was just a really fun reading experience. It follows these two characters who are essentially going on a quest through this world. It's quite slow moving. It's got some really strange, interesting, intricate world building details, different places and different creatures as well. When I was looking through my list of favourite books I could choose, so many of them have eldritch creatures in, but this one is probably one of my favourites, with these giant eldritch ladies who I've shown pictures of before, but I'll try and quickly find one right now. Like this one. That wasn't quick at all, but there you go. There is a picture of one of the eldritch ladies. And yeah, I just think it's a really interesting read, and I think it's one that more people need to pick up. The next question is best sequel, and I haven't really actually read that many sequels, at least ones that I would rate super high. I technically could count Dungeon Crawl Carl in this, but I'm talking about that more later on, spoilers, so I thought I wouldn't pick it for this one. So otherwise I'm going best prequel. But sequel, which is Sunrise on the Reaping, I ended up giving it 4. I really liked it. I think that this is a world that feels really nostalgic to me, just because I read it when I was a teenager. I spent so much time in this world and consuming the content, and I think that this was a really nice way for us to get backstory to things that happen in the main series. It felt like it kind of just really rounded things out, and yeah, I really liked it. The next question is new release that I haven't read yet but I would like to. I've put in this one The Raven Scholar by Antonia Hodgson. This was one that kind of came out left field for me because I wasn't planning on picking it up, but when it released to really good reviews, so I ended up getting it, and I haven't read it yet, but I would like to, because I think it would be super interesting. I don't know too much about it other than I believe it's kind of like a magical school, maybe societies. But yeah, it sounds like it's a really interesting book. Then it's anticipated Q3/Q4 release, and for this one there are many that I could pick, but I guess that I'm going with Strength of the Few by James Islington. By the time this comes out, it'll have been over probably 2 years since the book was released, but close to 2 years as well since I read the first book. But the first book was really full of twists and turns and ended on quite a plot twist, and so it's going to be really interesting to see where it picks up. I know that a few people have received previews of what the first chapter's like, and they've said that we're going to just jumping straight in, which I'm really glad for. But yeah, I'll be really interested to read that one when it comes out, I think in November. Then we have Biggest Disappointment. For this one I put Sky Full of Elephants by C. Bear Campbell. It wasn't what I was anticipating it to be. It was on my 5-star predictions video and it ended up being a 3, so not that that's a massive disappointment for a book, but it's just the book itself. There were so many things that personally I felt could have been touched on a bit more, to do with the conversations around race, particularly, you know, mixed race identity, and also just the fact that it kind of felt like the before them entering this compound place and the after felt like two completely wildly different things, and I just think it could have been longer maybe, and that would have done a little bit more justice to those conversations, because there was a lot of interesting things in there. I just personally don't think it probably was what I was thinking it was, and what I wanted out of it. Biggest surprise for me is probably the Dungeon Crawl Carl series. That is one that I think was really a surprise. I wasn't expecting to go in thinking that I would have bought all 6 release books and also got up to date with the series. I would have put book 8 as my most anticipated release if it was coming out this year, but I don't believe it is. So yeah, Dungeon Crawl Carl. I don't need to go into the series. I felt everyone knows what it's about at this point. A man and his cat go into a dungeon and aliens exist and things are crazy, and so I do recommend that you read it, or at least give it a try if you haven't already. I did go out and buy all the physical books, so that is very exciting, although mine has a little bit of a misprint. I don't know if you can see, and like the glossy stuff is like, you can see it better there, it's like not exactly where it's supposed to be, but I don't really mind. It's just A little quirk, I haven't actually read the the stories in the back of here though. I've been meaning to, and I just keep forgetting, because there's a short story that happens in the back of each of the physical books related to the Pineapple Cabaret, and so I keep meaning to get around to reading it and I'm not, so I should probably do that sometime soon. Another book for this question though, I was going to also say Asunder by Kirsten Hall. This is the second book that I read this year, and it was a really big surprise for me because I just went into it because I got it from the library. I'd seen something online that had made me think that it was interesting, so I put it on hold, and then my hold came through and I read it and I ended up getting really enthralled by it. I really like the world building. I think that the concept of being tied to someone through like soul bonding and stuff like that is something that I really enjoy, and I just think it makes for a whole new level of intimacy. There's the quests and stuff too that they go on through the book. I'm a quest book girl, and so yeah, I really enjoyed that one as well. Disappointingly, I followed the author's newsletter and the sequel hasn't been optioned, or they've not picked it up. So I'm hoping that one day that it'll come out, because I think that it just ends on such like a cliffhanger about what potentially could happen. I think it would be really interesting to read it, but who knows. Another book, because I just looked at my list, that I don't know where I've put, is Out of the Draining Deep by AC Wise. This is another one that I wasn't expecting to enjoy as much as I did. I gave it 5 stars. I just picked it up because I was really wanting to read some short books, and I thought, well, I'll just give it a try. It's one of the short books I have on my shelf, and in it we have angels and eldritch creatures and just a very short murder mystery. It felt very well done considering it's a novella. I didn't feel like there was too many things that weren't wrapped up in it by the end, and so I really thought that it was a really good read, really short read. I definitely recommend if you're looking for something short that kind of is eldritch but also is a murder mystery and explores a whole bunch of different relationships. Next is new favourite author. I think, as I said, I could probably put a few in here. Matt Dimon, obviously, with the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. Kirsten Hall, I really want to read more from. The author of The West Passage. There's a bunch of different authors that I'd be really interested in reading some more books from. I've then kind of skipped the next 2 questions. One of them is fictional crush. I don't really think I could even think about fictional crushes. I don't know if not that I care enough, but I'm not really, unless you're counting like the Eldritch Spider in like But Not Too Bold, that's my fictional crush. So I kind of just skipped that one. And then there's also favourite fictional character, which again, I was really kind of struggling to think about what I'd put for this one. I feel like the obvious one would be like Donut the Cat from Dungeon Crawl Carl. No one else like really stands out in my head, so I kind of skipped it, but the answer is probably Donut as well. So then we have Book That Made Me Cry, and I don't think I've actually cried really a lot this year about books. I did tear up at the end of Sunrise on the Reaping, just because the ending has a little bit of an epilogue where we meet some people who we're very familiar with, and that made me feel a bit emotional reading that, again, for the nostalgia of what the series meant to me and also so many other people, and I just felt that it was a really nicely done ending. And then we have Book That Made Me Happy, again, the DCC series. There are so many laugh out loud moments in this. The humour is like a little crass, it's a little silly, but there are so many moments, particularly in book 5, The Butcher's Masquerade. From book 5 to book 7, Samantha, who is a head, a literal floating head, it's just so funny. Like, she went from the constant I will kill your mother jokes to just absolutely being the core humour character of the series that we really needed, because she, I mean, does have emotional moments, but the emotional weight that comes with Carl and Donut and the emotions that they're feeling, it's so much deeper than what we see from Samantha, and so she just rolls in like the head she is, making silly comments, and they truly, like, she is a great character, and I did not expect to get so attached to her. Apart from that though, I think probably The West Passage as well. Obviously it was reread. I was hoping that it would be bumped up to a 5, and it was. I just think it's a delightful little story, if I'm honest. Then we have book to film adaptation, or my favourite book to film adaptation. I don't watch films. I don't watch a lot of TV at all, so I can't really answer this question because I haven't watched anything there's a book to film ad. Actually, that's a lie. I watched Mickey 17, but I haven't read the book, so I could say that, but also I can't say. Yeah, I can't really answer that question, so I skipped it. The most beautiful book that I bought though, I think that The Proposal by Bae Mung Hoon is one of my most beautiful books of the year. As I said before in the video, all three that have been published and translated in English have these sorts of covers where they've just got little pictures on the sides, and like the colour scheme is just really nice. And as I said, it's a really good quality book as well. So this one is one of my favourites. Cover wise, the obvious other answer would be Watermoon. Don't currently have it with me because I think my sister has it, or at least it's maybe in her room, but that one is an obvious one. It's one that most people are probably going to say, and so I thought I'd try and find something else instead. Then we have books that I need to read by the end of 2025. I will insert here my to read in 2025. I believe I've only read 4 or 5 so far, and there's 4 that I can't read yet at this point because they haven't come out. Quite a few of them are books that I have on my shelf that I just haven't got around to reading yet, and so I really need to make head on picking some of these up. I think my plan for kind of future videos is to maybe do a sequels video, because as we see, I haven't read that many sequels this year, but there's a few series that I'm not so close to finishing that I really want to finish. So I want to do a video where I'm reading some sequels. I want to do a video where I'm reading some anticipated releases that I haven't got kind of pigeonholed in for videos yet. So books like The Raven Scholar, that's one of them, and then I've also got one called And You Killed the King that I'm interested in reading. I got the Broken Binding edition. I'll show you, instead of just looking at it while it's sat in front of me. I'll show you. I've got the Broken Binding edition, which has got some nice sprayed edges, and so that's a book that I would like to get to. Also books like A Drop of Corruption, which I got earlier this year. I really enjoyed The Tainted Cup last year. I gave it 4 stars, and I've heard good things about the sequel, so I'm really looking forward to get to that as well, because this world also has some strange creatures in it that we didn't really see too much of in the first book, that I'm hoping we get to see more in this book. And so yeah, I'd really like to get to this one at some point soon. I need to get on reading some of those, and that's also on my 25 and 2025, so it would be good if I got to it soon. And then I believe the last question is favourite community members. I watch a bunch of different people on BookTube. Favourite BookTube people would have to be people like Books and Lala, Booked and Busy, Stephanie Bookish, also Ali from All I Do Is Read, and also Bree from The Lot Booktician as well, and Gavin Reads It all people whose content I really enjoy watching, because I think that they are just fun people to watch. They've got really great videos, and they read a lot of books similar to me, so yeah, I would say that they're probably my favourite bookish community members, because I always look forward to seeing that they have uploaded a new video. And that's it from me. I think that is all the questions. See you in my next video.